Good morning, Mike.
You're
Good to see you.
You're in a different space. It looks nice.
I am.
It looks exciting.
It's very exciting.
We're happy to be back.
Yeah.
Happy to be back and streaming. And we're in Minecraft again today, which doesn't probably seem like a surprise, but we're mixing it up a little bit this morning. We're going to be talking about transitioning from block-based coding to text-based coding using Python, which is a very, very popular concept now. Like, I think the scaffold is super. I talk a lot, to be honest, about the scaffold of like programming and coding and computational thinking for kids, and I focus a lot on that like K-8 range, but like this really like is how you get kids that are super comfortable in like that 6, 7, and 8 range to get ready for doing, some harder stuff. There are kids all over the map in terms of like their competencies and capabilities and how well they take to it, and frankly, how much they do at home and stuff like that because they want to and they have fun with it, right? So this is good because it'll hopefully help teachers understand how to move their students, especially those students that are kind of pushing them into kind of the next level, right?
Yeah. And like you say about the scaffold, I mean, we got a few things going here. One is block-based coding is definitely something kids are becoming more familiar with and learning more about. We definitely, there's a place where we want a lot of them to at least dabble and start to see what's happening with text-based environments. Like you said, Python right now is kind of a hot language to learn. I was super excited when I heard, I think it was at FETC, I was talking to some of the people on the education team, and they said that Python was coming to make code with Code Builder. And I was like, I was so excited, and I got home and it was literally like there, like poof, like I thought I was going to be waiting for months or something.
Like
magic. So it is here, it is now. And they did a really nice job. I'll pop into Code Builder now. You know what? Yeah. And so Code Builder, we'll do a little bit of the basic stuff. But one thing that's neat is as you start seeing here, when you're working on a project, as you start doing it in a different coding environment, it'll give you a little icon here. Like in other words, these two I was doing in Python. This one's JavaScript. This one's block-based. Okay, so that's one nice thing. When I'm in any normal project now, let's just call this Mike Washburn is awesome. Okay. So in here, this is my regular, this is the Code Builder or Make Code interface here. And right now I'm in block code, right? And as a little recap for those who might not have been with us the last couple of times we did this, these are all the different areas, or we call these drawers, or at least Microsoft Make Code calls these drawers. And each drawer has all the contents in it that are related to this idea. So if we're talking about player commands or blocks or mobs and such, and you have tons and tons of commands. You can also search for them. Like if I wanted to do an on-chat command or something, here's some stuff I can get to, right? So really amazing in terms of all of the different things we can code in Make Code for Minecraft. Essentially, the way I like to look at it is if you're accustomed to using commands at all, like time, set, day, or what have you, in Code Builder, there is likely a command for that. So I'm going to say, like, let's say we want to type in day to make it day instead of that whole time set day. If I go to gameplay, I can go to something like time set day. Okay. And good morning, Ms. Lee. And real simply, so I just typed in like day, and now it did the same thing using block-based code. Okay, so, we're going to talk a lot today about the transitioning from block to text-based. And what's kind of nice is that it makes it so that, Mike was talking about scaffolding. So with scaffolding, it's all about learning something and then moving on and moving on and moving on, right? So in this case, we can say, so I kind of get this idea at least, right? So I'm going to go to Python here, and it's going to actually convert that to Python. Now, that's not to say that I couldn't have started straight away in Python, but it's kind of nice to say, let me start to dabble and see if this is what I want to do. How would I do simply this in Python? And I jump here to Python, and there's this is a command we'll get comfortable with because you'll use it a lot. So this is essentially nothing more than this on-chat command, which is one of the simple block-based ones, right? So go back here for a second. So on-chat, and then this part here is the follow-up to that, which is the player on-chat day. That's what I was going to type in. So again, just to kind of show it step by step here, on chat command day, the day is the part I'm typing in, right? So that just goes to show that this is the one command that goes together, right? Then in here is what's going to happen when we do this subroutine or this function, let's say, called chat, day. And in this case, the code for that is gameplay.time set gameplay.time day. And that's the command. Now, why don't we break this out for a minute and say, okay, so first off, with text-based coding, you're often going to have to get a little bit used to things like this indentation is important.
Yeah.
So this is the command, but then what it's going to do, I have to indent. So what did it say there? It said game, oh, here we go, gameplay. So see, and the nice thing is it has this helper text for me. So gameplay.time, whoops, see, I did something wrong already, time set, and I could either continue writing it, or I could just, now that I'm on this, I could hit, I could hit tab. Let's try that again. Time underscore set. If I hit enter, it'll work. If I use the arrows, it'll toggle through these. But I'm going to do set and day, time, day. And
one of the other things that people have to get used to, I was just thinking, is getting things wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
which I'm doing right now.
You have to be perfectly comfortable when you're coding in like Python, with the idea that you're going to make mistakes,
right?
That things are not going to be right the first time, and that you're going to have to, it is part of coding, is debugging, is getting it wrong and fixing it.
Yeah.
It's literally like ingrained into the process of coding.
Yes.
And you have to be perfectly comfortable with that. You have to be just like understanding that you're going to get it wrong a bunch of times, and then eventually you're going to get it right. And then you're going to get the next thing wrong inevitably, and you're going to get those things right eventually too. You have to be completely comfortable with this. If getting things wrong is something that upsets you, like, and you get frustrated over, small mistakes, then this is a good way to stretch those frustrations and learn how to deal with it, because it's ingrained in the actual act of coding, is the act of getting it wrong.
And now, interestingly, I make a lot of mistakes when I'm coding, and it's often when getting things wrong in front of your students, and that is okay, absolutely. It is funny because when I'm doing this, a lot of times I'll get that feeling of stress, like, oh my gosh, people are watching me do this and I'm making a mistake. I try very hard to make it to model that it is the process. It's great to have people in the chat and to have Mike here, because a lot of times when we do start to botch our code a little bit, it really shows that pair programming idea of like, hey, let's look at this together. Because when you work with students in code, I'll tell you, I don't know all of the code at all, but what I'll find a lot of times is I almost get nervous too when I'm going to sit down with a student who's doing things that might even be beyond me. But the part I might be starting to get good at is just sort of proofreading or editing, for the syntax. So I'll find that missing semicolon that they won't or something, and then I feel like a hero. But anyway, so let's see if we've got this right while you're talking about that. So I just converted it. Remember, I took this out and I decided, let me try to type it in, which was really just kind of copying what I'd seen before. But let's see. So we're going to actually go time set night just to get there. And I typed in day and it did work. Okay. So there's my code. So on chat, I'm going to make it day, and I'm going to do it by typing in the word day on chat, which is this function. Okay. So again, now here's an interesting thing too, actually. I'm going to mess this up, like Mike said. Afternoon. Okay, we want to set it to afternoon. Now, first off, you see the squiggly there? That's lovely because it tells us there's something not quite right here, which is really great. But the other thing that's interesting about this is in Code Builder, if the code is all right, I can actually toggle between any of these. But if the code is wrong, it's going to give me an error and say, wait a minute, something's wrong. It doesn't want to bring bad code to block-based coding, probably because it doesn't understand it. So if I do change this back to being correct, let's see if that works. No, that's not right. Let's see if the capital day, yeah, so that should be okay. So now if I go back, I can actually toggle back and forth, which is really nice. I can even now go to JavaScript. So right now I've seen, so this is gameplay time set, gameplay time day. This is the, and see how they actually call it a function here in JavaScript. So, and notice the syntactical, that's a good word, differences here. In the on chat is pretty much the same, but there are differences or nuances when we go between JavaScript and Python. Okay, let's look at that again. So this is gameplay time set, gameplay time. And remember here it had the function stuff and whatnot, right? And now we go back to JavaScript, and this does look a little different. In fact, yeah, so those are things to either get used to, or more often than not, you'll kind of stick more with one language. I'm especially excited these days about Python just because people are using it in a lot of different environments. So it was a smart choice, I think, for Minecraft to say, hey, let's bring in Python, because again, Python is one of the standard languages people are using to teach right now. And in fact, tomorrow morning, we have Bob Irving joining us, and he's going to actually do some straight up Python. So not with Minecraft, not with anything, just teaching the basics of coding Python. So there you go. So that's that. All right. So now what I want to show you about, get back into sort of the way kind of Code Builder works and stuff, is there are all these different tutorials, and we talked about these the last time, but a slight difference, our popular chicken rain one is the one where the chickens start falling from the sky. So it used to be that there was only a tutorial for block-based. Now they added Python and JavaScript tutorials, which is awesome. So if I decide to go straight up with Python, it will bring me through a step-by-step tutorial, kind of like the block-based one did, but I'm going to be typing a little bit. So in this case, it's starting me with the code for spawning mobs. Mobs.spawn. And then, here again, it's all the different things I could spawn with the helper text. And then position. And we've talked about this before. It's funny. Hopefully, especially for those of you who have been joining us quite a bit, you're starting to see that things like the coordinates, we've talked about the 3 coordinates when we've done this as a command or a command block or anything. So it's starting to, we're starting to see at least the same, some of the same things translate over, which again is part of this whole idea of transitioning and scaffolding, is that as we start to understand certain aspects, it becomes a little easier to move on. So here we go. So I'm going to play this, and there comes my one chicken. That's for Mark Otter. Or no, the one's not for Mark Otter. The 100 are going to be for Mark Otter. And then here we go. So run your code, which we did. Okay. Now we're going to learn a loop. And if you remember, we've done loops before with the repeat command in regular block-based coding. Now, Python and JavaScript both handle loops a little different. But again, here through this tutorial, it's kind of walking us through at least this first time. So we're going to go, oops, messed that up. we're going to go here now, and this is going to be before this. So I'm going to do this for I in range 100. So this means it's going to be a loop essentially that's going to do this 100 times. And you notice now I have something wrong here. Anybody remember what I have to do here more than likely? Or actually, you can see it up here. Anyone? And Mike,
I love when you pull the stream.
Yeah, and then have the curly brace. We got a curly brace. It's not going to be a curly brace this time.
30 seconds later.
Mike.
I have no thoughts. I have no thoughts on this. I'm just watching.
Really? We talked about this before. We need that tab.
I
didn't even show it here. We're kind of cheating. You love the tab.
It's funny. Okay. Right behind me, I have books on coding in Python. You know, that
break them out.
I have not read yet. We've talked about this before because you just started learning this fairly recently as well.
Yeah. I also have like a Humble Bundle had this great, like I have about every ebook you could ever want on coding. So now I'm going to hit play, and this is for Mark Otter.
Hey.
So now, and remember, we've done that before, right? So here we go, though. So here's my chicken rain, and blah, blah, blah. So we did it. Well done. Now, here it is in Python. And again, I can go back and just take a look at what it would look like. This we've done before. Repeat 100, spawn, blah, 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 right? Now, you know, then you get into, this is how I feel about stuff like this with the transitioning and such. Is like, okay, so I know how to do that now. All right, that's all good. So let's do, let's spawn other mobs, right? And what do we want, Mike? How about maybe some parrots? How about some pandas? Everybody loves pandas. And these we're gonna do, so do we know where these pandas are going to spawn? Anyone?
Aren't they going to spawn 5 blocks away from you?
Yeah. So this is the X, right? So 5 relative to me, the X. Okay. And now, in theory, this should all happen together at the same time, right? Because I'm just telling it for this rate, for the 1 to 100, do both of these things. So let's give this a shot. We got pandas, we got chickens. Oh, look at that. Pandas are fun. They do flips and stuff. Okay. We have a zoo. I don't know how do chickens and pandas get along so far, but the pandas, why are the pandas all looking like they're taking damage because they're hitting the cactuses, the cacti. They should stay away from the cacti. Okay, so you get that, right? Now, we could also go back into that whole, making it happen when we type in a command. And this is where a lot of times for me, I'm like, oh man, I kind of forget a little bit how to do this. So I'm going to cheat a little bit. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to go to player on chat command, right? And let's see what happens if I now. So I just did this in block-based, but I'm like, all right, let me now just translate it for ourselves. So here's that. So it's defining the on chat command, right? It's still doing this whole loop within that. And the on chat, I had told it to use the word spawn, right? So now if I type in spawn, it's going to do all this. So let's first. Sorry, everybody. So now there are pandas, there are chickens. So we did that. Now, of course, like I say, I would like to get to the point where, we're comfortable saying, forget it, we could just do this all in Python, but I was just, kind of forgetting the exact way it was all typed in and all that. You know what I mean? And let's see here. All right. So cancel that. All right. So now let's go back here. And likewise, there are all these other. So this is kind of cool. I like this flower trail. I'll show you why in a second. And I'm going to do this one in Python also. Okay. So flower trail, I don't know if you remember this one. I'm going to alter it a bit. But what it was doing is having us, as we walk, it's going to place blocks, right? But so on the basic way it's done is def on traveled, okay? And then see where it says pass here? Let's talk about that for a second. Player dot on traveled walk, comma, on traveled, okay? I think that's right. This pass is like saying, okay, we want to define that something's going to happen when this is like the command. We're setting up this function for on traveled, and when it activates, something's going to happen. Okay, and the something's going to happen when we walk. Okay, but it seems like they like to give you these little placeholders here called like pass. Now, pass, nothing's going to happen right now, but I guess syntactically it's correct, so it allows us to do that. I'm going to say syntactically as many times as I can today.
Love it.
So there we go. So we've got pass now, and then when we go on, it's going to show us how to actually do this. So I'm going to now change the pass with blocks. It's not blocks. Blocks dot place, and I don't want to do these yellow flowers. I want to do like white concrete. Okay, so when I walk, it's going to place white concrete, and I'm going to say position 0, 5, 0, and hopefully I did that right. Now, what is going to happen here, people? Let's see if Brad or Renchi or Ms. Lee or Mark Otter, if any of them know. What's going to happen now just when I walk? Are y'all, as educators, familiar with the term wait time? You know that term, Mike? Do they use that in Canada?
Wait time. We don't have. I don't know what you're saying.
You don't wait for anybody? You don't know what I'm saying. So, and we got Ben. Ben says concrete blocks above you. You're placing blocks above you, right? So yes, so wait time,
Yeah.
Mike. You know how you said you what?
Nothing.
You know what it is?
No.
Wait, oops. You don't know what wait time is? So, no, well, no, it's not that. But wait time is in educational circles when we want to give our students an opportunity to answer, and we, even though we have that awkward silence for a little while, if we wait a little while, hopefully they'll answer. So I just did that. Okay, see that, Mike?
I see.
So I just walked around. You're laughing at me?
A little.
I'm talking about pedagogy here. It's the pedagogy podcast.
The pedagogy of streaming.
No,
Is awkward silences in stream.
Yeah. It's to allow for them. You're supposed to allow for the awkward silence, because just like in the classroom, you don't like when there's that awkward silence. No. So watch this. Let's see if this works too. Now, if I walk here, it should. Whoops, or not. I'm gonna walk on this tightrope here. Okay, and now there. Okay, so watch this. So let's say I was playing around with this before. So let's say I want to take this a step further and say, okay, I want it to place those 5 above me. And now let's say we do, gave me an extra tab, which is not good there. So let's say, is black concrete a thing as that? Yeah, it should be. So let's say we do this. Or actually, better yet.
Mark, sometimes your jokes aren't good either.
Oh, what did Mark say?
To be fair.
Jokes are much better than my coding. Whose jokes? Mine or
Mark?
His jokes his jokes are better than his coding. Okay. Oops. See, you got capital letters matter and stuff.
Hot chocolate. I like hot chocolate. My kids drink hot chocolate all the time.
Somebody making jokes about hot chocolate now? All right. So, and of course I could use a loop here too, but black concrete. All right.
Are the block names the same in Python as they are in the text-based commands?
That's a great question. So let's say we wanted to give myself a
Otter is good at Otter's good for a good dad joke though. At
wait,
least.
why is it not? Let's see, what would be the give at S. Okay, here we go. White glazed terracotta concrete. Oh, so concrete. That's interesting. So remember, in this regard, I'd have to put concrete like 2 to get a different color of concrete, or maybe not.
No, it's probably black underscore concrete. Try that.
Think? Maybe, okay. But or white underscore. Yeah, you might be able to. White.
I think the white one. I think the white one is concrete.
No, but look.
Or concrete underscore black.
Maybe. See, but you would no, because if so, then it would show it there.
Oh.
Concrete. Oh no. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2. So 2 is going to be the different color. Okay. So to answer your question, it's done differently. No. So here, watch what I have now. Now, what do you think you're going to do now when I walk around?
It's going to be like a checker.
Kind of, yeah. Now let's see. Ready?
Look at all those pigs just dead.
Yeah. I think they call them cows. So it's kind of a checker. It depends how. Well, yeah. But it's kind of a neat way to draw around the map. Problem is, you have to be pretty steady if you're gonna. Like I was thinking, it should. Let's see. If I go that way, it's one thing. Let's see what happens if I go this way. Depends which way your X. No, because the X should be. Yeah, well, that's nicer, right? So there you have it.
Walk backwards in a straight line.
Okay, that's good.
Looking up.
Yeah, I hear you. Like that. Is that it? Or let's see how far I have to go. If I go. See, that's interesting because it depends, of course, where the X is. Right? So think of all the crazy things you could do, though, with this. And of course, it might even be smarter to do it as a place and not do it as, or how about fill, right? So let's see how it's going to work with fill instead of the traveling, okay? So we're going to, now we're going to play around a little. Okay, so fill, let's see how they want us to do this. Fill operation hollow. I would think that probably do more. All right, so let's see if we can figure out how this is supposed to work with the fill command in Python. So here we go, ready? So we're gonna go back to our cheating ways. If I can get out of this. I guess I gotta finish this first. Okay, finish. So now we're gonna go home here for a second. We're gonna go back to Mike Washburn is awesome. And we're gonna do something like the fill command, okay? And then we're gonna see how it wants us to do that in Python or JavaScript, and then we're gonna play around with that. So real simply, if I just go to here, and I actually want to see a few things here. So if I go from 0, 0, 0 to 10, whoops, 10, 10, 10, do we remember what that's going to create? Hello, light blue wool. Okay, so this is going to create, anyone? Could code a Fortnite-like tunnel to protect you from players. Yes! You could set it up so that you're using like or tunnel or like as if you're building platforms, right? Or platforms or ramps in Fortnite, but in Minecraft.
Ben Kelly,
ladies and gentlemen. What did I tell him it had to do here? I want to just type in Phil. Okay.
Ben Kelly is awesome, by the way. Every chance I get, I want to remind people of how freaking awesome Ben Kelly is.
Me also. In fact, why haven't we had Ben Kelly on yet?
I think not only will Ben Kelly be on this stream sometime soon if he can, but I'm working on a project that we're not going to announce just yet that Ben Kelly definitely needs to be on. What do you think, Steve?
I think so too. Yes.
Especially if we were talking about the sustainable development goals in Minecraft.
Yeah, absolutely.
That would be
yeah, for sure. So this is interesting. So when we do the fill command in Python, this is what it looks like. So it does this interesting position from where it starts to where it ends, fill operation hollow, and okay, so that's how it wants to look, right? So this just gets me thinking of what we can do, kind of interestingly. But what I actually want to try is one thing first. So let's go back to this for a second. So it's always interesting to me that there's the position, there's the relative and the world position, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just curious how that translates in code, if it does it as absolute position or world position, but we'll see in a moment. World, okay. So it's basically saying world this or position by default is relative, okay? So we're gonna go back to, what was the other one? Just position, I think? Yeah, pose. All right. So this is where it's relative to where we are. So any coordinates we put in here, again, are relative to where we are. So we're going to start out, let's say 5 above us, and we're going to go to 10, 15, 10. Now this is going to be a cube still, right? Now, let's make this, so when I type fill, we're going to go a little crazy here, okay, people? We're going to, oops. I'm going to copy this. I'm going to paste this and see. Oh no, I needed this. Did I get this part? I need that also. Okay. So now, boom. Oops. So again, we gotta be careful about our indenting. All right. So here we go. So right now, it's gonna do two of the exact same thing. But let's say we go. Let me think here. Let's say we want to go above that again and just build another one right on top of it, okay? So in theory now, we're going to end up with 2 cubes, right? And just to show the difference a little better, let's use a different material. And hopefully as I start typing, yep. So what do we want this other material to be? Let's say, how about lime wool, because that's probably not the worst color ever. So we're gonna now, when I type in fill, what should it do? Anyone? Max is here. Who's Max? Oh, Max wants us to buy subscribers.
Max is a spammer.
That's great. Well, it's always a compliment once you start getting people to spam your chat because it means people are starting to find you. So, until they start doing bad things. So here we go. Ready? So now, oh, that's interesting. We know why that happened, but whoa, why is we don't like, what are those things called again? I'm just drawing a blank. Those are phantoms, so that is. So anyway, so what I forgot to do was I still went from 0, 15 to that. So if we go here now to 25, now I go fill. And yeah, so there we go. Okay, so if you start to think about the possibilities here, right? With copying and pasting code, this gets more efficient than dragging in block after block or whatnot. Let's see. So we are going to now oops, come on, I don't want to be there. So let's say, well, this is interesting too, because this is still going to always be relative to where I am, right? So if I go back to this being 5, no, not that. Yeah, 5 is good for that. Let's say negative 10 to 0. Let's just see what this does. So this should Now it should end up with 3 cubes, I hope. Let's see, we'll start over here again. Shouts is here. Iterate with the for loop, absolutely. Yeah, let's do that too when we get to that point. So what did I say it was going to be? It was going to be fill. Now we should have, yeah, okay. Oh wow, that's interesting. So funny. It's I keep doing not what I mean to do, but so we wanted to make it, what I wanted to do is have another cube next to the blue. So what did I do wrong there? So I went from, I still really want this to go to 15. And why did it do that? I wanted to go from, that was from 10, wait, from 0 to 10. Oh, so that was silly. That was 0 to negative 10. Do I need something here? Maybe negative 10 here also. I'm not doing this quite right because it's, but let's try it. Silly. Yeah, we're getting closer. Not exactly what I wanted, but we get the idea. But now, like Shouts was saying, now we can get into things like loops, right? So let's say we decide to go back to here just to see the real simple syntax of the loop. So let's say, but now that's interesting because then we would need to start using some variables, I think, too, and stuff, right? So if we do a loop, let's say we repeat this 4 times, and let's just say we do 2 of these. All right. Right now they're going to be, yeah, I think we need a variable for this. It's too early in the morning. My brain's going to start hurting. So we're going to make a variable called length, let's say, and maybe a variable called width, just in case. Not sure if we need that. Maybe. And maybe height also, but let's see. So we're going to set variable width and, oops, not that. Set variable, that's what, oh, okay. Set variable length. So we're going to start them both at 0. And let's say that's going to be what's going to be in this, in here. So we're going to put, actually it doesn't even have to be, it could be the same variable length to, now we might want something like length plus 10 or something. It's math in here somewhere. Math, duh. Okay, so then we're going to say to length plus 10 and length plus 10 again. Let me do this, yeah. Oops. Okay, so in theory, what happened to my length plus 10 here? I lost it. Ah, go back here. That's not what I want. Length plus 10 and length plus 10. All right, so now, and I did this totally wrong. That's silly. Okay. So now we're going from 5 to, so length, if length is 0, now it's going to go from 0 to 10 and 0 to 10. So then this one, let's say we do, I'm sure this isn't going to be quite right, but let's say from length plus 10 to length plus 10. Let's try that again and just see. Mike's playing Satisfactory.
Mike is trying to figure out how to ban spammers.
Oh, cool. There's the mod. There's the whole mod.
I got it.
Okay, cool.
Done. Just did
All
it.
right. Done. Gone. All right. Now, just curious what this will do now. If we do that plus 10 to that plus, gosh. See, this is what's funny. Once I get it, I'd rather copy and paste the text code. Just curious if this will even do what we want it to do. Not exactly. Actually, it won't. But if we do this, wait, let's see. Let's see. If this were to work, no promises here, folks. After I do this once, I think I would want to do a little math here that also does. So I want to set the variable length now to a little mathness. And let's say we keep setting it to itself plus 10 or something, right? I'm sure, like I said, we'll see where this goes horribly wrong. Yeah, no, we can't. We're not trying to convert it yet. Come on, give me a break. Length to, come on. All right, let's try this again. Length plus 10. Just want that. All right. So let's see if this, in theory, why won't it let me, well, probably because of all these blocks. Doesn't like this stray blocks here. Still says it can't convert it. Oh, probably because this and this. All right. So now my thinking is that this is going to hopefully do 4 cubes or 8 cubes. That's going to go, it's not going to work. But blue, green, blue, green, blue, green, blue, green. Anybody think it's going to work? Yeah.
Yes.
You do? You're too kind. I don't think it's going to work. Let's go over here. I feel like there's something little that we're doing wrong. Live coding, ladies and gentlemen. Errors and all. Fill. Whoa, that's pretty cool. Not at all what I had in mind, but hey. Look at that. That's exactly what I meant to do, right? Isn't that cool, Mike?
Amazing.
Now imagine if I meant to do that. 4. I don't know why I ended up with an extra. Well,
There are no
extra blue.
mistakes, Steve. Just happy accidents.
Just happy accidents. So now, let's look at it now in Python. All right. Oh, that makes it look so easy. So now this is saying, I do like that the variables are set. So the variables, so on chat, so I love this. So it's showing that we are setting width and length here, okay? And I'm a little curious, X 5 to 10. Oh, okay, this does make sense actually, because we did tell it to go. Let's try this, because really originally, length plus 10, 15, because that's actually starting higher to begin with. That wasn't really the intent. So 5, 10. So that shouldn't be 10 though. I mean, that's what that one's doing. But 5. Oh, 15. It's doing this. Oh, I see. Okay, 15. So let's see what happens now. Okay. Ready? Oh, so that's interesting. That is also not at all what I thought would happen. Look at that. It's doing, why is it doing that? So light blue, lime, length 5, length plus 10, 5, length plus 10. Oh, you know what's happening? Yeah. So what is happening, which is interesting because I just changed that, is it's probably making this one out of wool, here, watch what's going to happen. I'm going to change this to just do this once. And I think the once it'll work, because I think what's happening is it's creating this lime one, and then it's replacing the same place with blue right after. Does that make sense? People following?
Right.
So Phil. Yeah, so yep, that's kind of what that's weird though too, because why is it giving me like a double length of blue? So we got blue wool, length plus 10 plus 10. Why the heck is it doing that? Maybe that's part of the problem. Length plus 10, length plus 10, and plus 20. All right. And then length equals length plus 10 at the end of this before it does the second loop is what it should do. So let's try this again. I'm having fun. I hope everybody else is. All right. That's more what I was expecting. Now let's try to repeat it 4 times, and it's going to fail again, I think. But maybe not. I think what's going to happen is I think we're still going to, maybe it'll work this time. Wait. I'm going for, the alternating. Ha! No, see, it keeps, I'm pretty sure what's happening, which this is funny. I think what's happening is it is creating this blue cube, then it's creating a wool one, but then because we're going up by 1, it's immediately replacing this one by that. So what if we did this? Yeah, maybe that'll work. All right, ready? Who thinks it's going to work?
I think it's going to work.
It worked, Mike. It worked. We did it.
Of course it worked.
Now, well, of course, 32nd time is a charm. Now we can get crazy. Watch this. Ready? And I'm sure there's so much more we could do, but you ready for it, Mike?
Yeah.
What's it going to do? You know.
Look at that. You were just like.
So think of all the things we could do here. Like, and each one of those is hollow. So imagine making some sort of like maze system that changes from thing to thing. So you go from a green maze to a blue maze, and then it becomes something, and you have to get all the way out at the end. Let's see. Yes, failure. It's all about failure, Brad. And honestly, it is funny because I'm not entirely comfortable with it. We always talk about the importance of embracing failure, and I believe it 1,000%. I believe in that idea, but it's still, we struggle with it. But how fun is it to, kind of work through it and then come out the other side? No pun intended, as I come out here. All right. So now, just to think what we can do so many neat things. We can now go like this. Let's see what happens when we do some more stuff. It keeps doing that. Let's see. What to go on with that. Right here, we got to go back here. Here. So now let's say we add a variable height. Okay, and now we say over here, we say, I'm just curious, if we go height, and then height plus 10, and then I think we would want the same thing here. Now, so I do love when this quickly started going away because I know at least it should work. The Great Wall of China, no kidding, yeah. All right, now let's see, Phil. Now I'm hoping it went up also, yeah. Did it? Ah, that is interesting. Oh, that's kind of cool. I meant to do that. And now, I mean, so you get the idea. I have a feeling this is one of those things I could go on and on and on. Any other thoughts of like, so then, I mean, then of course you get into everything. So this, what I hope you got out of that is that we went from saying, all right, I'm comfortable with figuring out the basic fill thing with, and the variables initially with block coding, right? But then I'm like, you know what, I really want to play around in the text. And this is interesting too. I don't know where these came from. I don't remember putting those in there, so they must have just been something else that we ended up with that kind of dropped in there. Or maybe not. Wait, that's weird. Length 2. We never. Length 2. Where was. Oh, this all got messed up. Oh, that's weird. Height. Remember how. What did I just do? Because we had defined length, width, and height, and now they went away. But all right, so there we go. These are the original ones. But it's funny that why did they end up down here? I would think they would have to be declared up here, or at least I would want them to be. And I have no idea what that length 2 is. So anyway, the idea being that we can go on and on and on. And I, again, like starting with some of these, like the tutorials, especially the ones. So some of them, let's see, Spleef is a fun one. Man, they really upped their game, because when they first launched Python, only a few of the tutorials had a Python one. But here's creating the Spleef game purely in code. So we're gonna go ahead and do it. We're gonna do def on. See, what I love about this too is with the coding, like my kids, you know, I teach game design, and I love when they could start thinking like, hey, I could create a mini game completely in code. You know, and oh, that was weird. I did not say build or paste. I said nothing of the sort. And how did that to make fun? Pass player dot on chat Spleef on chat. Okay, so again, just for review, who wants to tell me what that pass means there? Mike, do you remember?
No.
Anyone? Come on. Pass. Something is coming. Yeah, it's a placeholder, right? Thank you. I'm glad we have Ben here. So that just means, in other words, I think the idea is they often want you to be able to feel like you're able to set up the function before we're sure what we want it to do, right? That this is what we want it to do. So now look at this. Everybody loves lava. Blocks.fill lava. The thing I hate about this is, or don't love about this, is that a lot of times the text gets right in my way when I'm trying to, although if you notice, it actually is leaving just enough room for me to follow it. Now we're kind of should be getting comfortable with these position things, right? So all right, let's see. Should we quiz the chat here, Mike? Ooh, didn't like that really. That should be a -1. Let's see. All right, so where's it gonna fill this lava? From where to where? It's a good question. Anybody? Where's the lava going to be? Based on relative to where I am. Oh, come on. Ben, Brad, just below. Okay, good. So we're going to now start this. So we're going to say on chat, did we tell it what the chat was going to be? Spleef, right? So watch. So boom. So there's my lava. A game of Spleef. Anybody, if you don't know what Spleef is a game where you have a bunch of different levels, and you're either like, in some versions, you might throw snowballs at the ground and it breaks the ground below and the person you're playing against falls through, or you break the blocks below them. And the goal is to have them fall through all the different levels to end up in the lava. It's kind of like dodgeball.
Nice.
Yeah. now we're gonna add some snow here, and it talks through step by step. Blocks.fill snow position 0, 4, 0. Losing my cursor. Comma position 10, 4, 10. Now, I'm gonna ask y'all again. Where's the snow gonna fill? When I start this, it's gonna refill the lava and then this snow. Where's the snow gonna fill?
Above you, 4 blocks.
Very good, Mike. All right, so we got that, right? We're gonna just keep going for a minute. Give you a little briefing.
We have about 3 minutes left.
Yeah, all right. Let's just show this then. Just to get the hang of where we would have done with this. So what we just did was we basically created the start of this Spleef game. Now the idea of Spleef, again, is if I was playing with you up here, Mike, I would be breaking these under you and trying to make you fall through to the lava. The Xbox version of Minecraft comes built in with some mini games. One is, they called it Tumble, which is the same idea. But anyway, the goal with this game would be to then have a bunch of different levels, right? Platforms. And you would start maybe up here and we'd be fighting until one of us fell all the way down. And again, once we start copying and pasting and using any kind of variables and stuff, it only becomes easier. So go ahead and, play around with some of these tutorials, play around with them in the different, let's see, I'm just gonna go through this. So it finishes, boom, boom, and it does show something with the variables. I could show it again. Here it is in Python. Here, the same thing is in JavaScript, slightly different. And here the same thing is, in block code. Okay, so it starts to become a function of what you're, either comfortable with or whatnot. But the idea, as Mike pointed out earlier in the stream, is we're talking about scaffolding. We're talking about guiding kids through the process. There's that the kids especially that are ready for that next level. I'll also say that I got to a point with I got to a point where, what was I going to say? Oh, where I started noticing that kids that did start the text-based coding, that actually comes more naturally to some of them once they're comfortable with it. So, while it seems like it's this next level thing, some kids will find it actually easier and actually gravitate more towards it. So, thanks everybody, for joining us. I just want to give a couple of little shout outs to some of the other stuff we have going on this week. Today at 3 p.m., I'm super excited to be playing a little bit of Minecraft Dungeons.
Very exciting.
Yes, and then tomorrow morning we have Bob Irving coming on to do some cool stuff with legit Python programming, like from scratch, like none of this Block 2 Python stuff. And then what else do we have going on this week, Mike? We have
Gone Home Game Study Thursday afternoon.
Yep.
Yeah.
I feel like that's it. Oh, and you know what else? Friday afternoon, we're launching another set of Minecraft build challenges that I don't know how much I'm allowed to announce yet, but it's pretty exciting stuff. So nice. Join us for that Friday afternoon, and then we'll let you know what else is going on throughout the week. But as always,
we'll see you,
good, fun stuff.
Yeah, we'll see you this afternoon at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Yes, we will.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.